Welcome to the next session on Java programming. In this lecture, we are going to see how to read input by using the Java programs. There are three classes to read input from the user: a scanner class, a buffer reader class, a console class. You can use any one of these three classes to read input from the user. We will look into each class one after another. The first one is scanner class. The scanner class is the simplest class. It is very easy to read input by using scanner class. If you want to use scanner class, you have to import the scanner class. The scanner class is available in a package called as Java util package. So you have to import the scanner class first. Then what you have to do is you have to create an object of scanner class. So this is the way how you are supposed to create an object of scanner class. Here, the scanner stands for the name of the class for which you are going to create an object. And this is object name. And this object name can be any valid identifier. It need not be my obj. It can be any valid identifier. And the new keyword will create an instance of the class which you specified. Here, a new keyword will create an instance of the scanner class. In the constructor, you have to specify from where you would like to read the data, the source of input. Generally, you can read data either from standard input device, you can read data from network, or you can read data from the files. Whether you are reading data from files or standard input device or network, you have to specify here the source of input. In this tutorial, I'm going to read the data from standard input device. So I'm giving it as system.in. The scanner class provides different methods for different data types. Okay, if you want to read the Boolean value, so there is a function called as next Boolean. If you want to read a byte of data, so you have next byte function. So if you want to read a double value, there is a function called next double function. So next float, next integer, next line, next long, so next short. For every type of data, scanner class is providing a separate functions. Here, next line stands for reading one line of text as a string format. So you have different methods for each type of data. Now let's see how to read input by using scanner class and by using these methods. Let's go back to the IDE, create a new project here, go to file, click new project, choose Java application, and here give your project name. Let's say it's my second project, and it will create a new project called second project. Create your own classes. For creating new classes, right click on the project, go to new and choose Java main class. Whatever the name you specified here, with that name, a class will be created. So a class will be created with the name called second. Here a class is created with the name called second. Let's remove these comments. So this is the basic skeleton of your Java program. We already discussed in the previous lecture. If you want to read data from user by using a scanner class, so what you have to do is first you have to import scanner class. The scanner class is available in java.util package. So you have to import that package. Import java.util. I would like to import scanner class. Okay, so once you import scanner class, now you can use scanner class for creating objects and to read the data from the user. Okay, let's create an object for scanner class. Scanner sc is equal to new scanner, where sc is an object of scanner type. In the constructor here, you need to specify source of input from where you would like to read the data. So I would like to read the data from standard input device system.in. I would like to read two numbers, let's say A and B, and do addition of these two numbers. How to read these two numbers? So we have a separate function for reading integers. sc.nextInt. NextInt method is to read integer values from the user. In the same way, read B also, sc.nextInt. So here what I'm doing here, I am reading an integer value and that value will be stored in A. Here I am reading another integer value and that value will be stored in B. Let's take another variable that will store the addition of two numbers. Let's print the value. Addition is plus C. Here this plus will act as the concatenation operator. Okay, what here you are combining a string and the value of a variable. So you are combining to a string and a value of variable. So you have to use a concatenation operator. Here the plus will act as the concatenation operator. So this is the complete program. What I'm doing here, I'm going to read data by using the scanner class. So if I want to use scanner class, I have to import the scanner class first, which is available in java.util, and then create an object of scanner class here. Then read the value of A, read the value of B, add them, and the result will be stored in C. Finally, print the value of C. Here I am printing a string followed by the value stored in a variable. So I am combining them. You need to concatenate them. Plus will act as the concatenation operator here. So let's run this. Let's give two inputs. Let's say one input is 150, another input is 250. The result will be the addition of these two numbers. See here, you can find out the addition is 400. Okay, this is the way how you are supposed to use scanner class for reading the input. Okay, let's try with another data types. Let's say I would like to read two integers, one float value, and if I want to perform addition of these three, I would like to perform addition of two integers and one float. So what I have to do, first I have to read the value of A, which is of integer type. Then I have to read the value of B, which is of integer type. Now I have to read the value of X. The X is not integer type, X is a float type. So you have to read it by using next float method. So here I am reading the value of A, which is of integer type. Here I am reading the value of B of integer type. And here I am reading the value of X, which is of float type. And add all these three and print the result. So let's run this program. Here you need to give three inputs. One is of integer type. Next one is of integer type. Next one is of float type. So the result will be the addition of three different data types. So addition is 470.36. So for every data type, scanner class is providing different methods. For integer, next int method. For float, next float method. In the same way, if you want to read other data types, you can use this. If you want to read the whole line of data, you can use next line method. The string, okay, in string, S should be cap letter. For reading a message, which is of string type, either you can use sc.next method. The next method will read only one token. So I can say one word. If you want to read the whole line of data, you can use next line method. Let's print this one also. Message is the message which you read. Let's run this. So for this program, you have to give four inputs. The first one is a text in one line, and two integers and one float value. So you have to give four inputs. The first one is a line of text. This is testing scanner class. The message that I would like to give as input. Next, you have to give three numbers. Two is of integer type. One is of float type. So this is your output. Addition is 450.36, and the message is this is testing scanner class. So this is the way how you are supposed to read input by using scanner class. Okay, for every data type you have separate methods. For integer, next int method. For float, next float method. For reading a line of text, next line method. And one important thing to remember is scanner class does not provide a method to read a single character. The scanner class is providing methods to read one words or one token. The scanner class method is providing a method for reading an entire line of text, but scanner class is not providing methods to read a single character. Then how to read a single character by using scanner class? So what you have to do is, you have to read as one word, and from that one word you have to extract a single character. Let's say the character variable is some X. So what you have to do is, there is no separate method for reading a character. So what you can do is, you have to read as a word, as a one token. From that one token, you have to extract the first letter. For extracting first letter, there is a method called char at method. Char at 0th index. This sc.next method will read as a string. For extracting first letter, you have to use a method called as char at method of string class. As you are extracting the first letter, the index should be 0. This is the way how you are supposed to read one character by using a scanner class. Read a character using scanner class. If you want, you can print this. What you are doing here, you are reading as a string. From that string, you are extracting the first letter by using a method called char at method. So char at method is a member of string class. Let's execute this. You have to give input as a character. Let's say I would like to give input as R. See, this is the output. R is printed as it is. This is about the scanner class. There are some drawbacks of using scanner class. Scanner class is not the fastest class to read the input. So when you are participating in coding competitions, and scanner class is not recommended. Frequently you will get these errors, TLE, time limit exceeded error. If you are participating in coding competitions, the scanner class is not recommended, as it is not fast when compared to other classes. Because in coding competition, you will have a time limit. So within the time limit, your program is supposed to execute. Scanner is not synchronized class, and it is not thread safe. And the buffer size of scanner class is limited to 1024 characters. It is a fixed. So in order to avoid these drawbacks, what we can do is, you can go with another class called as buffer reader class. So buffer reader class is the fastest class when compared to scanner class. By using buffer reader class, you can read text from a character based input string, and this buffer reader class inherits properties from reader class. The buffer reader class will read data, and the data will be kept in the buffer. The size of the buffer is not fixed. If you want, you can define your own size by using these constructors. So it is having two constructors. So one constructor with the default size, and if you want to change the size of a buffer, you can use the second constructor. If you want to read input by using buffer reader class, you have to create an object of buffer reader class like this. Here, this is the class name, and this is the object name. Object name is any valid identifier. As I told you, new is a keyword. It is used to create an instance of buffer reader class at this particular point of time. And in this constructor, we have one more extra thing when compared to scanner class. The purpose of this input stream reader is, the input stream reader will convert the bytes which you read into characters. All this character will be stored in a buffer. The size of buffer need not be fixed. If you want to give your own size, you can give your own size by using this constructor. By using this the second constructor, if you want, you can increase the size of the buffer. These are some of the methods provided by a buffer reader class. This read method is to read a single character. Remember, scanner class is not providing a separate method for reading a characters, but buffer reader class is providing a method to read a character. If you want to read a line of text, so there is a method called as a read line method. To check whether the buffer is ready to read the data or not, so there is a function called as a ready function. If you want to skip a particular character from reading, you can use skip function. The skip function is taking a long value as a parameter. This n stands for how many number of characters you would like to skip. If you want to skip 10 characters, just give the value as 10. So what it will do is it will skip n characters and then it will read the remaining one. This close method is to close the buffer. Let's see how to write programs by using the BufferReader class. Let's go back to our IDE. If you want to read data by using BufferReader class, you have to import BufferReader class. BufferReader class is available in a package called as java.io. IO stands for input output. You have to import BufferReader class. Okay, in BufferReader, there is no space between buffered and reader. It's a single name. It's a single word. There is no space between buffer and reader. The second step you are supposed to do is you have to create an object of BufferReader class, and you need an object of InputStreamReader to convert the bytes into characters, and you have to specify the source from where you are reading the data. Here my source is the standard input device. You are getting error here as you are using InputStreamReader class. You have to import this class also. This class is available in java.io package. Okay, as you are using two classes, BufferReader class and InputStreamReader class, you have to import these two classes. These two classes available in java.io package. Now you can read the data. If you want to read one line of data, BufferReader class is providing a function called as readLine. You can use readLine function to read one line of text. After reading data, you can print the data. Let's run this. Let me give input as this is second class. We'll get the same as output. This is second class. This is the way how you are supposed to read data by using BufferReader class. You are getting an error, so you can remove this error. This error is saying that if you use this readLine method, there is a chance of getting exceptions. In order to handle this exception, you have to add exception handling mechanism. Place your cursor at the error and press Alt and Enter. Choose any one of these three. Okay, better go with the first one. If there is any exception while reading the input, and this exception handling mechanism will take care of those errors. Okay, this is the way how you are supposed to read data by using BufferReader class. Create an object of BufferReader class, read the data, read a line of text by using the readLine method and print it. How to read an integer by using BufferReader class. BufferReader class is not providing separate methods for reading integer, float, double, long and all. BufferReader class is providing only methods to read characters and strings. If you want to read floats and integers, doubles kind of thing, you have to pass the data using strings. If you want to read integers, what you have to do is first you have to read as a string. Then from that string, you have to pass the integer. For passing integer from a string, so Java provides a wrapper class called as integer dot parse int. So for this parse int method, you have to provide a string from which you would like to read the data. Okay, for reading integers by using BufferReader class, what you have to do is first read that integer as a string, then parse integer from string. If you want to read integers by using BufferReader class, first what you have to do is you have to read as a string, and then from that string you have to parse integers by using a parse int method of integer class. Here as a parameter you have to provide the name of the string from which you would like to read the data. In the same way, if you want to read one more variable, let's say I would like to read a float variable. Again, what you have to do is you have to read data as a string, and you have to parse a float value from the given string. B is equal to For passing float, you have to use parse float method of float class. And here you have to give a variable of string type from which you would like to read the data, from which you would like to pass the data. For extracting integer value from a string, you have to use integer.parseInt. For extracting float from string, you have to use pass float function of float type, float class. Add both of them and print the result. So here what I'm doing, I am reading two numbers. One is of integer type and another is of float type. Buffer reader class is not providing separate methods for each data type. What you can do is you can read the data as a string. You can read data as a string, then convert that string as a integer by using parseInt method of integer class. The same way for reading float, read the data as a string, convert that string to a float by using parse float method of float class, then add them and print the result. Let's give 120 as one input, 35.45 as another input. So you'll get addition of these two numbers. Okay, this is the way how you are supposed to read input by using buffer reader class. Scan class is providing a separate method for each and every data type, but here in buffer reader class, there is no separate data type for reading integers, float, double, long, and all. You have to read as a string and then convert the given string into respective data type. The advantages of using buffer reader class. Okay, let's see what happens if there is no buffer reader class and what happens if there is a buffer reader class. If you are not using a buffer reader class, each read or write request is handled directly by the underlying operating system. This can make a program much less efficient since each such request often triggers disk access, network activity, or some other operation that is relatively expensive. If you use classes which supports buffer input streams read data from a memory area known as buffer. The native API is called only when the buffer is empty. The next class to read input from the user is console class. Basically, we use this console class if you want to read passwords. It provides method to read text and password. If you read passwords using console class, it will not be displayed to the user. So when you type data on the console, whatever you type, that will not be displayed. And one more thing is, this console class is not supported by IDE like NetBeans, Eclipse, and all. This console class will support only in terminals, in command prompt. And console class does not provide any constructors. If you want to create an object of console class, you have to call console method of system class. Unlike scanner class and buffer reader class, console class does not have constructors. If you want to create an object of console class, you have to call a console method of system class. The console class have various methods, and three of them is, one method is to read a line of text, and another method is to read a password. If you use second method, whatever you type on the console, that will not be displayed, unlike other functions. And this function is to flush the console. Thank you.